18th.
Police search for a mass murderer in suburban Chicago, and the West warns Serbia to back off in Bosnia or face intervention. This is the CBS Evening News. Good evening, I'm Connie Chung. Residents of a small town near Chicago are in shock this weekend over the murders of 7 people whose bodies were found in a fast food restaurant. So far, police are being closed-mouthed about their search for the killer. Frank Courier has more.
36 hours after the mass murder at this family-run fried chicken outlet in suburban Chicago, police are hunting new clues and questioning a recently fired employee who it said may have sought revenge.
At this point, in divulging anything about motives and possible suspects is critical to our stage of the investigation we're at, and we can't comment on that.
Police describe it as a massacre. 7 people, adults and teenagers, shot fatally, forced to lie down inside a kitchen walk-in refrigerator. Their bodies discovered yesterday morning after worried parents and one worker phoned police because their son was late returning home.
Our son is there. That's all I know.
While police won't say if robbery is a motive, the gunman apparently surprised the victims after closing hours through an unlocked back door. The dead include the husband-wife owners, 3 adult employees, and 2 high school students.
Work here, he just started like 1 week ago.
She's grieving for Guadalupe Maldonado, an immigrant cook who had just brought his family back here from Mexico.
It's just unbelievable that something could happen this close to home.
The owners, Dick and Lynn Ellenfelt, had bought the business 7 months ago after a painful corporate layoff.
The owners just were incredibly sweet people, very hardworking.
Next door at a Catholic-run home for the poor and aging, the nuns remember Dick Ellenfelt for his almost daily donations of unsold fried chicken.
He was such a kind man, not only to us, but to everyone.
What's being called the Chicago area's bloodiest shooting spree in 2 decades is a haunting reminder to neighbors in this suburban middle-class community that the victims of mass slayings are often innocent, everyday people.
It's just a tragedy, and I'm just going to pray that the whole community can pray that they find whoever did this.
As police gathered evidence long into the night, somber students at Palatine High School remembered the 2 youngest victims.
We extend our sincere sympathy to the family and the loved ones of the victims.
And observed a moment of silence before last night's game. Police still won't comment on a motive or a murder weapon, or whether charges will be filed against the suspect in custody, as residents here come to terms with a weekend massacre that's turned a once sedate suburb into a national scene of horror. Frank Courier, CBS News, Palatine, Illinois.
President-elect Clinton said farewell today to the Little Rock church he's attended since 1980. After an emotional goodbye at Emmanuel Baptist Church, Mr. Clinton greeted well-wishers. Later, he and Mrs. Clinton were honored by the local NAACP chapter and by an AIDS group. Susan Spencer is in Little Rock with more on the countdown to the inauguration. Susan, what does Mr. Clinton have ahead this week?
Well, Connie has more goodbyes ahead, but he'll also be filling jobs, the White House staff, several sub-cabinet jobs, be working on the economy. And this week, Connie, we expect him to break his own self-imposed rule against getting involved in foreign policy before the inauguration. He will outline his policy on Haiti. He pretty much has to if he has any hope of avoiding this mass exodus of refugees that everybody's so worried about the day he takes office.
But, Susan, how can he do that? Because he's been critical of the Bush administration turning them away back to sea.
Well, he has indeed. As I understand it, what he wants to make crystal clear is that while he is against the wholesale return of refugees, that does not mean an open-door policy for every single person on the island of Haiti. So while he may call for example, expanding processing centers so people seeking political asylum will have an easier time of it, the biggest thrust here is going to be to convince the Haitians that their island really does have a shot at democracy so that they won't want to leave Haiti. The best hope for that seems to be the United Nations, and Mr. Clinton is expected to heartily endorse the UN effort, but it's not clear if anything he says is going to stop it.
All right. Thank you. Susan Spencer in Little Rock. How to deal with larger than anticipated budget deficits was all the talk in Washington today as the Capitol awaited the Clintons' arrival. Randall Pinkston has more.
Stand-ins played the part of President-elect and Mrs. Clinton as Washington rehearsed for the upcoming inaugural parade. But on Capitol Hill, the celebration is being tempered by some tough economic decisions. One idea floating, raising gas taxes to bring in some badly needed revenue.
I've thought that we ought to raise the gasoline tax. We've said so for a long time.
If Mr. Clinton chooses that option, he could find significant Republican support.
I think I could support a gas tax increase if it's dedicated. If you're certain it's going to go into building roads and bridges, or maybe half of it to reduce the deficit, something of that kind.
But remembering the damage done to President Bush over a tax hike, Dole is content to let Mr. Clinton carry the ball this time.
But I'm going to let President Clinton make the proposal. I'm not going to make it for him.
The need to find new revenue seems more pressing because of President Bush's final budget, which showed the deficit for the next fiscal year is $18 billion more than expected. That's one reason for talk of a gas tax hike and retreating on one of the president-elect's campaign promises, a middle-income tax cut.
I would still like to see the tax code made more fair. If we can do it this year, fine. If we can't, and because of the deficit, then at the earliest opportunity in the future.
Congressional leaders expect Clinton to make the economy a top priority, but warn it will take time to present his program. For sure, it won't be ready the day after Inauguration Day, as some voters have indicated they would like to see happen. Randall Pinkston, CBS News, Washington.
In California, there's more unseemly winter weather ahead. The National Weather Service has issued flash flood warnings for parts of Southern California as another storm moves in. In Northern California, this winter has meant snow and lots of it. Cindy Kennard reports.
Fire! An assault on the snow in the Sierras. It's a preemptive strike, triggering small avalanches to stop bigger ones in a region where storms have dumped up to 16 feet of snow.
This is as good as I've seen since I've been doing this, and this is my 10th season.
What's good is the winter weather blast may mean an end to a 7-year dry spell in the West. One area of Northern California has nearly 80 inches of snow on the ground. That's nearly 2 feet of water to relieve drought-stricken cities and farms.
It certainly makes it easier to look to the summer coming ahead, the fact that we know that we won't be talking about rationing this year.
Still, it could take 7 years to return the water levels to normal, but in ski country, the impact has been immediate. More skiers on the slopes, more money for the merchants.
Everybody's stoked, everybody's happy, everybody's just going nuts because they are working, they are making money.
With more storms forecast, it could be months before winter fires its parting shot in the West. Cindy Kennard, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, Iraq denies it blinked in the missile showdown with the United States. And the fight to save the bald eagle from human poisons.
You know what I like best about going on vacation? Eating out. So on this vacation, I'm dining my way from San Juan to St. Thomas, from Guadalupe to Caracas, from Cozumel to Grand Cayman. It's all included in the price. But what I really like about this vacation is that my favorite restaurant goes everywhere I go. Take a 3, 4, or 7-day fun ship vacation on Carnival, the most popular cruise line in the world.
Sweet, succulent, sun-sweet, pleasantly pitted prunes. Sweet, sun-sweet, succulent. Sweet, succulent, sun-sweet, pleasantly pitted prunes. They are so much easier to eat. Can we try it again?
Come home.
To doctor of that cough, get Robitussin Maximum Strength Cough.
This'll help.
Robitussin Maximum Strength Cough, a new cough and cold formula. Big relief for your worst coughs.
You may not have given side impact collisions much consideration, but Buick has. You may not know that by the year 1997, all cars will be required to meet the U.S. government side impact safety standard, or that the Buick Regal sedan meets this standard today, 4 years in advance. But it is important information, and we think it's definitely food for thought.
A new confrontation is brewing tonight between Iraq and the West. The UN canceled visits of arms inspectors to Baghdad after Iraq banned UN flights over its territory. Meanwhile, Iraq denied it gave in to any ultimatum over missiles, as we hear from Bob Simon in Baghdad.
Saddam Hussein didn't back down. President Bush did. That's the Iraqi story as published in an official communique today. A spokesman for Saddam, who chaired a meeting of the Revolutionary Council, said the missiles have not been moved out of the no-fly zone. They are where they were and where they have a right to be, on Iraqi soil, protecting the Iraqi people. And if the crisis is over in Western eyes, it continues unabated where it began, in Iraq. The Iraqi defense minister toured Air Force and Army bases today, calling on pilots and soldiers to be on constant alert against all forms of conspiracy from the West. Diplomatic sources in Baghdad confirmed the continuing state of alert, saying that White House assurances that there will be no attack are being greeted here with considerable skepticism. Some clues to the crisis could be found in the bleak streets of Baghdad today. On the main shopping thoroughfares, there were few goods, fewer people, and very little commerce. The sanctions are biting harder and harder through this harsh winter. Diplomatic sources say Saddam needs these periodic crises to convince people that the West is behind their suffering, that President Bush and his allies are determined to partition and destroy Iraq. Today's communique was careful to exclude President-elect Clinton from the demonology. In fact, Saddam's spokesman said Mr. Bush may have manufactured the crisis precisely to saddle Mr. Clinton with a foreign policy disaster not of his making. The communique ended by expressing the hope that there will be an opportunity for dialogue, obviously, after the 20th of January. Bob Simon, CBS News, Baghdad.
We have this late story. A United Nations spokesman in Kuwait said that some 200 Iraqis crossed the Kuwaiti border early Sunday and seized armaments, including surface-to-surface missiles. That's according to the Kuwaiti news agency. Once again, a UN spokesman in Kuwait said that 200 Iraqis crossed the Kuwaiti border early Sunday and seized armaments. Nerves of U.S. carrier pilots in the Persian Gulf were a little calmer today, as we hear from Barry Peterson on board the USS Kitty Hawk.
This was not a weekend of rest. It was spent like any other in these dangerous waters, business as usual. But there was no doubt about who won this one.
I certainly consider that it is a small victory. It's a victory in that they're able to operate with a greater sense of security and a greater sense of comfort, and that we're able to carry out our mission without imminent threat to the pilots who are so doing.
It's not hard to remember where they are. Once in the air, planes are often watched by Iraqi radar, and pilots must watch out for the enemy.
We got called on a couple of guys, and it turned out to be nothing, but the adrenaline started getting pumped up then.
One break, some good weather is dearly welcome.
Well, the weather being better actually is better for us because you can see whatever might be launching or coming up.
If the pilots worked hard to keep their nerves steady and their adrenaline under control during the crisis over the missiles, the challenge now is to keep their edge. They must still fly over dangerous territory on a daily basis. They must still be ready for combat at any time.
Bridge on.
And if they forget, their captain reminds them. He used to fly off the Kitty Hawk as a naval pilot during the Vietnam War.
Basically, simply focus on the mission. There's a great degree of, I guess you could say, invincibility, thought processes in every aviator's mind.
No one here really believes the trouble with the missiles will be Saddam Hussein's last hurrah. He's tested the Americans over and over. On this ship, it's considered a sure bet that he will again. Barry Peterson, CBS News, aboard the USS Kitty Hawk in the Persian Gulf.
Help is someone listening. Help can someone hear. Can somebody take the pain and make it disappear?
Finally, someone understands all pain is not the same.
Put the help where it hurts.
Introducing new aspirin-free Bayer Select.
Put the help where it hurts.
Yes, aspirin-free.
Put the help where it hurts with Bayer Select.
Bayer Select. Not one, but 5 different aspirin-free products for 5 different kinds of pain. Sinus, headache, nighttime, menstrual, and arthritis pain. Because all pain is not the same.
Put the help where it hurts with Bayer Select.
Eye doctor said Habitrol.
Habitrol.
It's a nicotine patch.
That's the one.
For information, call 1-800-685-2000.
Habitrol.
Ask your doctor about Habitrol Nicotine Transdermal System. It's only available by prescription.
You should call your doctor.
Did you tell Papa?
Tell Papa what?
Does Kellogg's Muesli cereal taste like Grandma's?
Our family secret?
Europeans are puzzled. Does the great taste of Kellogg's Mueslix come from their secret recipe?
Fruits, nuts, whole grains.
It's perfect.
Impossible.
Tastes like ours, really.
Good morning, children.
Mama?
Why, this is the best we've ever made.
Kellogg's Mueslix, the European secret for great taste.
If there's anybody who doesn't have to put up with sexual harassment, you'd think it would be a woman with a gun and a badge. If that's what you think, watch 60 Minutes tonight.
In Baltimore, the pregnancy rate among high school girls is one of the highest in the nation. As a result, officials will soon begin offering a controversial birth control device to students at one public school. That's tonight's Sunday Cover, the use of contraceptive implants by teenage girls.
What's a condom? And you know, what's Norplant? What's birth control? And everybody is scared to talk about it.
But at Lawrence Paquin Public High School in Baltimore, no one is afraid to talk about contraception and sex.
Ask another question.
In fact, by the end of this month, this school for pregnant teens will be the first in the country to dispense Norplant, one of the newest, most controversial forms of birth control available.
What do you know about Norplant? What do you know about Norplant?
It has a lot of side effects.
It has a lot of side effects. What side effects are you familiar with?
It prevents pregnancy, but it does not prevent AIDS and sexually transmitted diseases.
Norplant consists of 6 medicated rods implanted under the skin on the arm. The rods prevent pregnancy for up to 5 years.
Good morning, everybody.
Kimberly Lucas, who had 2 children by the age of 19, obtained Norplant at a private clinic last year. She says it has already helped change her life.
Give me a kiss. I love you. I've enrolled in college. See you later. For September, so it helps me to be able to have another kid when I choose to, not let it, just happen, because that has already happened to me before.
The Norplant's probably the next best thing.
A Baltimore Health Consortium will help fund the program at a cost of about $500 per student. The city health department calls it a worthwhile investment, but some critics argue that providing Norplant to sexually active teenagers is tantamount to ethnic genocide and is bad medicine.
We just think it's unconscionable that the medical establishment and family planning groups would be targeting this group that is at such high risk for a birth control method that in no way provides any protection against AIDS.
Regardless, these teen mothers at Paquin welcome the option.
It's not for a particular culture or age group. It's available for any woman, whatever culture she may be.
It's not a race thing, it's a pregnant thing, and you just want to be cautious as far as having babies.
Your mommy did great.
The principal here, Rosetta Stith, says 30 students, about 1 in 10, have already obtained Norplant on their own, and she expects the numbers will increase once the school clinic starts the implant program within the next few weeks.
It's not the total answer, but a part of a solution. The total answer, of course, is abstinence. But abstinence has to be, that's a mindset to a mind change. We have not got the population to this point yet.
Paquin High School is the test site, and officials say if the program is successful there, it may be expanded to 8 other schools where clinics are already dispensing other forms of birth control.
To get rid of her gray, my wife can spend 40 minutes. But I discovered the 5-minute hair coloring.
The revolutionary discovery called Just for Men from the leader in men's hair coloring. Simply apply Just for Men and in 5 minutes shampoo out.
Gray is blended away. The look of my natural color is back in 5 minutes. That was me, and it won't fade or wash out.
My hair takes forever, but you look great in just 5 minutes.
The look of your natural color in just 5 minutes with Just for Men.
They ate the same lunch, got the same heartburn, but his antacid is very different. His Tums has calcium. Most antacids don't. Regular Rolaids uses an aluminum salt. This uses aluminum and magnesium. So does this. Of all these, only Tums helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium you need every day.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
Calcium-rich Tums. That's the one you want.
If you're paying annual fees on your IRA, if you buy mutual funds and pay loads or fees, we have an investment breakthrough for you. Now only Schwab gives you the lifetime guaranteed no annual fee IRA and no-load mutual funds from leading fund companies. Only Schwab gives you the single best way to buy mutual funds for your retirement. So if you're still paying transaction fees or loads,
maybe it's time to come to Schwab.
Time is running out tonight on chances Western military intervention in the former Yugoslavia can be averted. Mediators say Serbia is stalling at peace talks in Geneva. Tom Fenton in Belgrade has the latest.
The three-sided talks on a settlement in Bosnia resumed today with the Croats saying yes, the Muslims no, and the Serbs maybe to a UN peace plan. European mediator Lord Owen vented his frustration.
They don't want to form a settlement. They want to go on fighting. There's precious little you can do to stop them unless the United States wants to intervene on the ground in a major way.
There was an echo of this warning in Washington.
Strongly consider using NATO to take out some of the Serbian artillery, whatever, if they don't get the message. They may back off once they understand we mean business.
The rumbling of threats from Washington have put what's left of the former Yugoslav army, now basically the army of Serbia, on edge. The media were called in today for a rare show of military firepower in the snowy mountains south of Belgrade. Chief of Staff Jivita Panic said the message to all who try to threaten us with military intervention is that they are going to see what is waiting for them if they come. The Serbs are playing a hardline game, but they don't have too many cards in their hands. There's a certain element of bluff about the threat to use force against any Western intervention. The former Yugoslav army isn't what it used to be. The troops that were put on display today are mostly conscripts in their 4th month of training. Whatever the state of their morale, it's their equipment that seems to be their greatest weakness.
The sanctions have seriously depleted the technical resources of the Yugoslav army. So the Yugoslav army is not in a position to threaten very much.
Underlying the Western threat was the report today that the United States has moved the aircraft carrier John F. Kennedy to the Ionian Sea just south of Yugoslavia. Tom Fenton, CBS News, Belgrade.
Ooh, it took a cold morning like this one for me to discover a really great hot cereal for my family. And who would have expected? It's grape nuts. I just pour grape nuts, add milk, and microwave for a minute. It's got a warm, smooth, hearty taste that's so delicious we all love it. And grape nuts is fat-free. It's the perfect way to help keep us all going on a cold winter's morning. Hot, delicious grape nuts. Try it for yourself.
Hot or cold, breakfast with Post-Grape Nut cereal helps keep you going strong all morning long.
Presenting the 8-calorie cookie, the 8-calorie ice cream scoop, or an entire dessert that's 8 calories. Sugar-free Jell-O gelatin with 100% NutraSweet. There's always room for sugar-free Jell-O.
An hour into the job, he said something was wrong. He thought it was just a little congestion. But when the cough and the burning fever kicked in, he knew it was more. Kevin Ross is no stranger to pain, but this is the flu, and that calls for serious medicine. Doctor recommended Theraflu, strong medicine in the soothing warmth of a hot liquid to ease flu symptoms fast. Theraflu, your flu misery stops here. And for powerful nighttime relief, new Theraflu Maximum Strength Nighttime.
Day after day, you make those glasses of thick Metamucil disappear. Why not make them all disappear with FiberCon? Doctor-recommended FiberCon gives you the same fiber regularity in tablets.
Easy to swallow tablets.
Get doctor-recommended FiberCon.
Majestic, bold, fierce. The bald eagle is the symbol of our nation. The eagle is protected by environmental laws. But as Bill Lagatuda reports, in the Great Plains, the bald eagle is still very much at risk.
When John Cooper surveys the great bald eagles that soar along the Missouri River these days, he's looking for signs of a killer.
In our area right now, this has become a very high priority.
In the past 2 years in South Dakota, the leading cause of death for this endangered species has been poison. Scores of eagles have been killed by a toxin that's incredibly powerful.
If they picked up something and it's still on their beak, you may smell that pungent smell that certain poisons emit. And if you get enough of a dose of it, you'll pass out and you're dead. You will not wake up.
Poor eagle. Must have been a horrible death.
The chemical that's killing the birds throughout the West is not intended for them, but for coyotes, which kill sheep and cattle. Ranchers leave poison carcasses in the wild for the coyotes to find, but the eagles and other animals find them too.
We've kind of labeled it the circle of death. You'll have a bait station, and then out from that bait station you'll have your first ring of dead animals, whether it be coyote, badger, skunk, eagles, magpies, whatever.
Agents work undercover because killing eagles is a federal offense.
They might be after coyotes, but eagles are a side thing that happens, and it's just, they feel it's one of those things that happens.
Cattlemen and sheep herders are frustrated. Coyotes killed more than $50 million worth of their livestock last year.
Last summer, from docking time until I marketed the lambs, I lost 110 lambs.
The state does allow ranchers to hunt coyotes from the air, but this hasn't thinned the population enough.
It's a slaughter. It's a shooting gallery.
And animal rights activists want the practice to stop. So more ranchers turn to poison.
They're not renegades, they're not outlaws, they're just frustrated and feel they have their back to the wall.
The unintended outcome may be a drastic thinning of the golden eagle population. One wildlife group says at some of its monitoring stations, half of the protected birds don't show up anymore.
It's an early warning of the possibility of a decline, and the idea is to do something now before it reaches a crisis.
The authorities have made some arrests and levied fines, but admit they've barely dented the problem. Discouraging to those who've spent years nurturing the community of eagles back to health and are now watching America's national symbol dying again. Bill Agatuda, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And that's our news. Dan Rather will be here tomorrow night and join Bill Plant later tonight on the CBS Sunday Night News. I'm Connie Chung in New York. I'll see you again next Sunday night. Thank you for joining us, and for all of us at CBS News, good night.
Experience CBS News.
Most apartments have built-ins, but this LA developer builds in something special. What is it? Watch and learn. His tenants are Eye on America, tomorrow on the CBS Evening News.
This is CBS.
Next on News Channel 5.